getting into my 6 favorite outright bets for the Masters tournament. Starting out with one of my favorites right now, that's going to be Hideki. Hideki has some of the best course history in the field, ranking out 3rd best in the field over the past 4 years, with all of them being top 16 or better finishes in that time span. The slight worry is that he's not the best stat fit as a whole, but he is someone that's, I'm kind of okay to overlook that. He's a good specialist. He's a good stat fit, really strong in recent form. And this is actually going to go up slightly as well because he is currently playing very well at the Valero Texas Open. Currently has a top 10 going right now. As expected, he's looking like a better option than Rory for that tournament. We'll see if that holds up again for the Masters tournament. But we take a peek at his average odds. And guys, I will have the normal updated best bets page updated for, all the best sportsbook odds that we're getting and whatnot, where you can place your best bets. But right now, because we have a current tournament going on, this is what I have for you guys. So Hideki, you can get him basically at 20 to 1 on average, 25 to 1 currently on DraftKings Sportsbook. That is very good odds. Now that has since come down. I mentioned that he would be someone I was probably betting on during the Masters preview video. So hopefully you guys were able to get on that. Another player that I have highlighted is going to be Xander Schauffele. Now you can get him at 20 to 1 on Bet Rivers, 18 to 1 on average. And Xander is going to be one of those golfers that some people, they just don't like to bet him. Personally, he's my favorite golfer, so maybe a little bit of bias, but his game just sets up extremely well for this tournament. It's not too long ago, just 3 years ago at this tournament, where he was in the driver's seat to win, ended up finishing 3rd, probably made a dumb decision on a shot that kind of cost him a win, but still, he is the second best pick in the 9 to 5 mile. Now, some of you guys might be wondering what goes in the model. Well, we're taking in everything that we need for that week's tournament. Course history, recent form, stat fit. Like a lot of people are going to give you guys winning trends this week, and the winning trends will say, hey, the golfers in the best recent form that are the best stat fits that have strong course history, they're more likely to win. We're already doing that in the data here. Now, where my day is a little bit different is that in the model rank, I both factor in safety and upside. Now, obviously, someone like Xander, who's just been a cut maker, 40 plus made cuts on the PGA Tour, longest active streak of any active golfer. Yeah, it makes sense why he's popping up in the model, but he has played extremely well at this track. I love the fact that we have seen him have that winning upside here as well, and he's been knocking on the doorstep thus far this season. And to me, this kind of seems like it's been trending in that direction for him to get that big time W, and he's been vocal about it as well. So to me, I think all the stars are coming together for him to get that victory here at the Masters tournament. And then again, you can get him at 20 to 1 on average. So the difficult part about the majors this year is going to be figuring out what to do with golfers from Live Golf. Last year, we didn't really see anything correlate between Live results and how golfers played at the Masters tournament. Like Phil's a perfect example of that, and Cameron Smith on the other end is a good example of that. Cameron Smith was coming in with great form heading into the Masters tournament, ended up having a 34th place finish, which in a field where there's basically 20 players that can win, not a good finish there. And then Phil, basically the exact opposite. Terrible form heading into the Masters tournament, ended up finishing runner-up. And so we did see, unfortunately, that as it sits right now, we don't get much of looking at the Live Golf results, so we are kind of somewhat guessing. That being said, we have seen Cameron Smith have a really good track record at this tournament. Besides last year, he's finished 3rd, 10th, 2nd, and really, I think he's going to be more prepared this year than he was last year. He was pretty vocal about saying that playing on Live, he was kind of playing uninspired golf, if you will. And that's still going on. Again, I don't really care to look at his Live Golf results. We should monitor those. And he's been a little bit hit or miss. And I kind of like that because if we can get him when he's on, I do think he has that upside to go out and win. And also another caveat that I need to talk about as well is the current weather forecast. Okay, so on Thursday and Friday, right now as it sits, and this can change, I really don't like to look at weather really prior to Tuesday evening, really. But it is noteworthy. If the winds get up to 15 to 25 mile per hour winds, we do want to start to favor some of those golfers that are pretty good in bad weather situations. And Cameron Smith is going to be one of those golfers. So I do think that that would be something that really helps him out a lot. Think about the Players Championship when he won that. The biggest reason as to why he won that is because he was one of the best bad weather players in the field, and also half the field didn't stand a chance. And then Friday as well, we could see some kind of heavy winds on Friday as well. Now, 15 mile per hour winds on average really isn't much. It changes the scoring somewhat, but not as drastically as most people think. That being said, I do think Cameron Smith, especially at the odds that we're getting him, is a little bit too good to pass up on. And so, yeah, we take a peek at his current odds. We can get him at 35 to 1 on some sites. He's on average about 32 to 1. And those are just good enough odds for a guy that has put himself in contention to win really 3 out of the past 4 years with only 1 bad start. That he kind of mentioned, his preparation coming into that event really wasn't that good. Now, if we're going to stick with that theme of targeting bad weather golfers, well, then I do think someone like Shane Lowry is a play that makes a ton of sense. His major victory that he has came because of that. Again, he was a good bad weather player. It was extremely windy. And I know Augusta's pretty well protected, so a lot of the times the wind isn't as big of a factor as it would be on more open courses. Okay, so I don't know if we need to be looking at that too much. I don't want to put too much emphasis on that. I want to make that pretty clear. But really, on paper, Shane Lowry is a golfer that's been playing extremely well as well. Has really good results at this tournament as well. 16th, 3rd, 21st, and 25th. Stat-wise, he could be better, but he's still top 20 in the field. I like that. Recent form-wise, not the best in the field, but it has been trending in the right direction with a top 20, a 3rd, and a 4th place finish. So again, he has been someone that has been able to at least put himself into contention. And if he can get a bump with the bad weather, look at the specialist rating. And if you guys are confused what the specialist rating is, it's taking a peek at all of the unique characteristics for that week's tournament. Now, I originally had the weather set at good. If this gets bumped to bad, he's going to be someone that improves a little bit more for the specialist rating and maybe even moves up a little bit in the 9 to 5 mile as well. But he is a play I like as well, especially if you're trying to gain an edge, particular betting on the weather. Now, that being said, it might be a payoff to just wait until the tee times come out to see if there's going to be a specific tee time advantage on Thursday and potentially Friday. At the same time, we could maybe potentially lose a lot of the edge that we have. But right now, you can get Shane Lowry about 48-1 on average for his odds. Now let's go ahead and get to two more long shot outright bets. You can see them highlighted. We got Corey Connors and Siwoo Kim. Now, Corey Connors is a player that I'm a little bit shocked at he's kind of getting disrespected. You can get him at 75-1 odds, and that's just crazy to me. Like, on paper, he's a lot better than a lot of the golfers that have higher odds than him. And maybe, I get it, like more name value. If those golfers are on their game, maybe they have a little bit more of a likelihood of winning since they've been there, done that. Don't have to worry about the Masters pressure. But Corey Connors has handled the Masters pressure pretty well here for the most part. Okay, 73rd last year, but then a 6th, 8th, and 10th place finish. Just elite results there. Key stat-wise, is going to be one of the best stat fits in the field. He is someone that's playing at the Valero Texas Open right now, has a top 10 finish going right now as well. And so he is someone that could actually rank out a little bit better in the 9 to 5 mile once he, that's probably not going to happen. Once I start to factor in the Vegas odds in that, which I'm not doing just yet, he's going to drop down in the 9 to 5 mile, just as an FYI, but he's going to still look like a great player. Let's just put it that way. Recent form rank is going to probably get a little bit better as well. He's just been a super consistent golfer, and I love the fact that we have seen some upside from him recently, especially this week. And that has been something that's really correlated pretty well with him. He's played well at the Valero Texas Open, then played well at the Masters tournament. I like that. And we can get him at 75-1. To me, guys, that's crazy. And now the last one is one that I'm kind of shocked by is popping up as much as he is. And I think that's just because he hasn't missed a cut here at the past 4 Masters tournaments. But they haven't really been great finishes. The only good finish that we've gotten out of him is a top 12 finish. So really not that great there. But I mean, for the most part, he has been playing some pretty strong and consistent golf thus far this season and really for quite some time. And so Siwoo Kim, I think can make for a good outright bet, which might sound crazy to some people. And you can get him at 87-1 odds. Again, maybe the weather plays a little bit of advantage. Maybe he's on the correct side of the weather draw. And instead of it being around 20 golfers that can win, maybe it reduces down to 10. And if you guys are getting confused what I mean by like 20 golfers that can win, kind of Brooks Koepka had mentioned this a couple of times. The Masters tournament's a weird tournament. It's kind of a no-cut event, basically. And it's kind of just like the Century Tournament of Champions, where there's not that many golfers in the field, especially in terms of who can win. You got golfers that aren't coming in the best form that are playing in this event. You got a lot of veterans that, previous winners and whatnot playing in this, a lot of young guys. And when you cut down the field to about 50, which you can kind of just do by doing that, and you cut it down to about 20 from golfers that are actually coming in, checking all the boxes, looking like good plays on paper, there really is only about 20 golfers that can win on paper. Siwoo Kim's going to be one of those golfers. Now, do I trust that? Do I love that? No. Would I go crazy with that? No, I wouldn't. Like, if you want to bet him to just top 20, you could at those odds. That's why I like calling out long shot bets like this, but that is what it is. Siwoo Kim is a long shot bet. And again, guys, I want to call out that the data will be updating on Monday at the typical time, which is around, just in the afternoon on Monday, once we're able to update the stats from the PGA Tour. And so the cheat sheet that you guys saw in this video will be updating there, updated with the weather and whatnot as well. But that's going to be all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Masters coverage and the bets and picks. That's going to be all for today's video. Thanks for watching. And as always, let's keep cashing.